A very good afternoon to all. In previous lecture, we have discussed regarding the pre-operative care, and today we will discuss regarding the post-operative care that is given to patients who have undergone the surgery. Okay, so in that we have discussed what is the pre-operative measures means before the patients enter into the operation room. Now the topic intraoperative, that is during the operation theater or in the operation. Okay, but it is not that much importance because you don't have any exposure to OT. Okay, so only the pre and post operative care that is very important for you, and that is also asked in the examination. Okay, so post means after, and operative, that is any of the surgery under which the patient has gone. Okay, so the post operative period that begins from the time the patient leaves the operating room. Okay, patient after the surgery, when the surgery is completed, patients they have come out from the operating room. Okay, and then they have entered into a post operative ward. Okay, so whenever the patients leave the room or leave the OT, then that is the beginning of the post operative period, and it ends with the follow-up visit by the surgeon. Okay, the surgeons who have done the surgery, they continuously monitor the patients and they do the follow-up. The next, the post-operative care that is provided by mainly two units, that is PACU, and second that is SICU. Okay, SICU, that you may already know, that surgical intensive care unit. Okay, intensive care unit, and under that it is surgical, means only the patients who have undergone the surgery, they were entered or they were admitted into the SICU. Okay, next that is a new, that is PACU. In the pre-operative we have discussed that the patients they are given the anesthesia, okay, before the surgery. Okay, so this unit PACU, the full form, that is post anesthetic care unit. Okay, so the doctors or the anesthetic who have given the anesthesia to our patients, they are also responsible for the post operative care. Okay, so two main concepts that is come, that is PACU, and second one is the SICU. PACU, that is post anesthetic care unit, and SICU, that is surgical intensive care unit. Next, the purposes of the post-operative care. Why we should give a post-operative care to a patient. First purpose is to enable a successful and faster recovery of the patient. Okay? The recovery of the patients is the patients they are able to carry out the normal activities of daily living and they are recovered from the any incision. Okay, so it must be faster if we deliver a proper post-operative care to a patient. Next, to reduce the post-operative mortality as well as the morbidity. Okay, sometimes the patients they are having some post-operative complications or they are ill due to any complications of the operation. And second, sometimes the death of patient is also there. Okay, so to reduce the post-operative mortality and morbidity rates, the care must be given to a patient and it must be a proper qualitative care. Next, to reduce the length of hospital stay. Okay, as we know that the patients they are in the post-operative ward after the surgery. Okay? So the time or the length of the hospital stay, it will be reduced if we maintain a proper post-operative care. Next, to provide a quality care services. Okay, we have to give a quality care service in that continuous aseptic tactic, sterile aseptic tactic should maintain the diet, hygiene, everything should be a proper. Reduce hospital and patient cost during the post-operative period. In the government, the patients they do not need to give any cost, but in the private hospitals, they have to give everyday cost to the hospital. So to reduce the hospital as well as the patient's cost during the post-operative period, these are the purposes of post-operative care. Next, scope to the registered nurse, that is RNRM, registered nurse, registered midwives. They are responsible and they are authority that they can work in the post-operative ward or surgery unit. Okay. First we see PACU, that is post anesthetic care unit or post operative care unit. Uh, if you have seen the patients of anesthesia, so after the patients they have recovered or they have returned from the operation theater, still they are having some effect of the anesthesia. Okay? So patients still under the anesthesia or recovering from the anesthesia, they are placed in the unit for observation by highly skilled nurses, anesthetics, and the surgeons. Okay? So in the post-operative care, in the first 24 hours after the operation, they are very critical, they are very crucial, and under that, the observation it is most important. So it is done by highly skilled nurse, not a new nurse or not a fresh nurse, a nurse who have a very good qualification and very higher skills. Next, anesthetics who have given the anesthesia and the surgeon who have done the surgery. So the role will be very important for these three. Next PACU, that is post operative or post anesthetic care unit, should be soundproof. Okay, if there is no sound because the patients they are already in the pain of the surgery. They are painted in soft color. Color is also influencing on the patient's hair. So they are in the soft color, very light color. Next, isolated because there are chances of the infection and irritation. So the patients they must be isolated. And these features will help the patient to reduce the anxiety and to promote the comfort. Okay, so the patients they must reduce the anxiety and promote the comfort. So that is we have discussed that is the environment that should be given to a patient after the surgery. Next, phases of post-operative unit. So there are mainly two phases, that is phase 1 and second one that is phase 2. Okay. Phase 1. Phase 1 that is immediately. The patients when they have returned from the OT, the immediately the timing start, that is the phase 1. It is the immediate recovery phase and requires intensive nursing care to detect early signs of the complications. Okay, so there are signs of the complications, so we or a nurse they must give a intensive care to a patient so that we can early detect or we can early identify any sign of complication if they are present in the patients. Next, receive a complete patient record. Okay, when the patients they have returned from the surgery unit or operating room, then there is a complete sheet of record that is come from the operating room to a post operative care unit. Under that, each and everything that has written, okay, how the surgery has performed, which are the medications they have given to a patients, what is the steps of operation, all the things. Okay. So they will receive a complete record of the patients. It is designated for care of surgical patients immediately after the surgery, and the patients they require a close monitoring. Okay, as I previously explained that the monitoring or observation of the patient it is very important in the post-operative period. So under the phase 1 we have to continually and we have to strictly monitor the patients. Next, that is phase 2. Phase 2, that is care of the surgical patients who has been transferred from the phase 1 post-operative unit. Okay. So when the patients they have transferred from the post-operative unit to any ward, then that is a phase 2. The patients require less observation. Okay, because phase 1 that is very critical, but phase 2 it requires less observation and less nursing care than the phase 1. Okay. This phase is also known as the step down or progressive care unit. that we have to assess only the progress of the patients, and a normal routine care should be given to a patients. Nursing management in post operative unit. Okay. So first, that is the assessment. Okay, so we have to provide a care until the patient has recovered from the effect of the anesthesia. Okay, the time period that is vary on the patients that they have under the effect of the anesthesia. So until the patients they have completely recovered, till that we have to provide a continuous care to a patient. Second one is the assessment. Okay, you can see in the diagram that a monitor it is there, and a continuous monitoring of the heart rate, SpO2 level, patient's ECG, and a blood pressure. That is all the things they are monitored under the this equipment. Second, that is monitor the vital signs. The vital signs that includes temperature, pulse, and respiration. Second, volume and regularity. Okay. Volume, that is amount, and regularity, that is the numbers, that is heart rate, respiration rate. Depth and nature of the respiration. Okay, how the patients they have normal respiration, they have tachypnea, dyspnea, okay, that need to be assessed. Second, assessment of the patient's oxygen saturation, that you are assessing, that is SpO2. This is a device that helps to assess the saturation of the oxygen in the patient's body. Okay. Continuously keeping or checking of the vital sign that must be done in the immediate post-operative period, that must be checked every 2 hourly. Okay, because the vital signs they helps to know if any changes in effect, if any complications they can arise. So this we have already discussed, that cardiac monitor is there checking the SpO2, and here checking the vital signs. Next, check the level of consciousness of the patients. Okay. Level of consciousness, that is LOC, that you may know that there are three levels of the consciousness: fully conscious, unconscious, and the semi-conscious. Okay, so the patients they are fully conscious, semi-conscious, or unconscious, that must be checked. Next is ability to respond to commands. The patients they are able to respond to your commands, that must be checked by giving simple commands like raise your hand, raise your feet, how are you feeling. Okay, so there are some simple questions. Next, maintain intake and output chart. Okay, that is also known as IO chart, that is intake output. Okay, here you can see that the patients they are given the blood transfusion. Okay, intake, that is everything that is intake by the patients, either that is by orally, IV, by rice tube, anything. Okay, and here the patients they are giving the IV infusion. Okay, that is the intake. And output, that is here the urination done by the patient. Okay. So the amount that is checked every hourly in the postoperative period, intake and output should be checked hourly basis. Next, protect the airway. Okay, because the patients they have the artificial respirations at the time of surgery, some patients. By proper positioning of the patient's head, by clearing the airway, and by the oxygen therapy. Okay, position for the proper airway maintenance, that is a Fowler's position, that is mostly used by the patients. Next, clearing the airway means there are chances of mucus or anything secretions in the patient's airway, so that is clear by the suctioning. You have seen the patients undergone the suction. Last, the oxygen therapy, that is given to a patients based on the saturation of the oxygen. Okay. Next, Pharyngeal obstruction, that is obstruction of the pharynx. It can occur when the patient lies on the back as there are chances for tongue to fall well. So it must be avoided. So we have to maintain a proper position of the patient. So that is about the airway. Next, maintaining IV stability. Okay, because the patients they are NBM means they are kneel by mouth before the hours of the surgery, means before 8 to 12 hours of the surgery the patients they are on the NBM, means kneel by mouth. Okay, so maintain a IV stability, because if there is lack of any solutions then the patients they can go to a state of the shock. Okay? And we have to prevent that shock. So a shock can be avoided by timely administration of the IV fluids. Okay? The patients they are given the IV fluids, next the blood and blood products. Okay, not every patient they are given the blood, but the patients who are having some critical surgeries, who are having the less anemia or who are having the excessive blood loss at the time of surgery, then they are given the blood transfusion and medication. Next, replacement of the fluids. Okay? Because there are chances that the fluid may be lost, okay, at the time of surgery in the form of blood. So replacement of the fluids. Next, keep the patient warm. Okay, we have to maintain a proper position of the patients, because post-operative patients they are also having the risk of development of the fractures. Monitor intake and output balance. Okay, if it is balanced or not. If excessive output is there, excessive input and no output, then there is accumulation of the fluid inside the body. We have to maintain or monitor the balance of intake and output. Monitor the vitals continuously with the patient's condition. The continuous monitoring of the TPR, TP along with the patient's condition. Next, position. Keep the patients in soft position. The flat back, legs elevated at 20 degree and kneecap straight. Okay. So that is a position that is given to prevent a shock, and that is known as the shock positions. Assessment of the surgical site means the site which has undergone the operation or the site at which the incision it is made. So we have to assess the site. First, most important, hemorrhage. Hemorrhage, that is loss of blood. It is a serious complication of the surgery that resulting the death. If the patients they have excessive hemorrhage or severe hemorrhage, that is excessive loss of the blood, then they can also go to a state of death. So it can occur in immediate post-operative period or up to several days after the surgery. Means immediately the hemorrhage or blood loss, it is common and it is also a normal for several days. But when the patients recover, the amount should be reduced. If left untreated, if the patients they have continuous hemorrhage, no any decrease in the blood loss, cardiac output is also decreasing, blood pressure is also decreasing, and HB level will also fall rapidly, then we must be very seriously think about it and inform to our physicians, because that's a critical condition. Next, blood transfusion if necessary. Okay. That is depends on the patients. We have to give a blood transfusions. Next, the surgical site or incision should always be inspected. Means we have to do the inspection. Means only observation of the surgical site and the incision sites. If bleeding, pressure dressing are less. Okay. Bleeding is there, then the pressure means a tight dressing they are placed over the incision site to stop the bleeding. If the bleeding is controlled, once if the bleeding stops, then the patient is taken in the OR, that is observation room, emergency exploration of, sorry, it's not the observation room, that is the operating room for emergency exploration of concealed hemorrhage in the body cavity. So the blood that is stopped, but that is concealed means that is retained accumulation is there. Okay, so blood it is accumulated, so we have to remove that blood. So that is a exploration of a accumulation of the blood or concealed hemorrhage in the body cavity. Keep the patient warm. Okay, we can use the warmers, we can use the blankets, use warm lights. Relieve a pain and anxiety. The pain because epidural pain. Okay, if you have seen the sides here, anesthesia that is given over here in the spinal and in the epidural space between this spinal cord. Okay, by catheter is also inserted within this space. Okay, and here it is the dressing. So administer opioid analgesics as per the doctor's orders. If the patients they are having the pain, how we can relieve the pain? So as per doctor's order, we have to administer the medications. Next, epidural analgesia. Okay, epidural analgesia that is given by this space. Okay, the sites where we have given the anesthesia, so that same sites we can give the analgesic drugs. Okay, here diclofenac injection it can be given in the epidural space. Next, NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Okay, so the drugs can be given to reduce the inflammation. Psychological support to relieve the fear and to give the support. Okay, psychological supports in the post-operative fear that is very important to relieve the anxiety of the patients, to relieve the fear and to give a support. Controlling nausea plus vomiting. One side effect of the anesthesia that is common, it is nausea and vomiting. Okay, that is very common problem in the post-operative period. So for that, we have to administer the medication as per doctor's order. That is metoclopramide and ondansetron, that is AMSET injection. Because in the post-operative, we are not giving any tablets or we are not giving orally anything to a patient. Okay, that must be started after 8 to 10 hours or as per the doctor's order. So for that, in the post-operative period, only injectable medications they are given to a patient. Next, discharge from the post-operative unit. Okay, when the patients they get discharged, a patient's remain in the post-operative unit until the patient has fully recovered from the anesthesia. Following measures they are used to determine the patient's ready for discharge. Okay, so how the patients or how we can identify that now we can shift the patient from the anesthetic room to other or surgical wards. That is stable vital signs. Means the vital signs they are under the normal range. Next, orientation of the persons. If the patients they are oriented, main three orientations they are checked that we have already discussed, that is orientation to time, orientation to place and orientation to persons. Okay? So for that we have to ask the questions to our patients regarding this. Next, adequate oxygen saturation level. Means the patient's saturation level that is normal, that is above 90 and they don't require any assisted oxygen. Urine output at least 30 ml per hour. Okay, so urine output it must be at least 30 ml, not less than that. Minimal pain means the patients they are a very minimal or very slight pain at the site of surgery as well as at the site of anesthesia. Adequate respiratory functions. A patient must have a proper respiratory functions. Next, Aldred score more than 9 before shifting from postoperative anesthetic care unit. Aldred score that I will explain to you regarding later. Okay, there is Aldred score that is post anesthetic score. In that we have to check these parameters and accordingly we can give a mark. marking over here and a total must be checked. Okay, in that circulation, consciousness of the patient, skin color, respiration and activity. These are checked and based on that the Aldred score that is assessed. Teaching patient self-care means how the patients they can take a self-care that must be taught to a patient. This expected outcome, immediate post-operative changes, if anything lost, if any body part that is removed, amputation of the leg, then it must be explained. Written instructions like how they can take the wound care, how they can go for the dressing, what are the follow-ups for the dressing, how activities they can done, what are the dietary recommendation, what they must take in the diet, what they must avoid in the diet, what are the medications, the frequency, route, action of the medications, dose. Next is the follow-up. When they can come for the next follow-up. Okay. So these are about the post-operative care. Okay. Uh, in a 1 minute, we will have a revision of the post-operative care. A post-operative care that is given to patients after they have come out from the operating room. Means the surgery is over and the patients they have come out. There are mainly two units, that is one that is SICU and second PICU, that is post anesthetic care unit and second surgical intensive care unit. Next, they are divided into two phases, that is phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 that is immediately and phase 2 that is after some time and that requires less nursing care and less assessments. Okay. Most important assessment under the post-operative care, that is the vital signs. Second is the IV, that both infusion as well as the blood transfusion. Second, medications they are given only by the injections, not only single tablet that is given in the post-operative. Next, that is oxygen saturation that should be maintained. Respiration, complete respiration should be checked. Next, explanation to a patients regarding any changes, follow their medications, their dietary recommendations, and each and every. Yes, that is about the post-operative care. Okay. Thank you.